Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be making this sweet little card with the Birthday Memories Designer Series paper and the Birthday Delivery stamp set. That's where the sentiment is from. And we're using a simple layout for this, and at the end of the video, if you'll stick around, I'm going to show you two more cards using the same sketch or layout using some different supplies, so be sure and stay tuned. So for this card, we're starting with a piece of real red cardstock cut at 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, so we're just going to take and match these two corners and give it a good crease with the bone folder. Okay, so now I chose a piece of the designer paper and I cut this at 2.5 inches wide, and it's 5.5 inches, 2.5 inches tall, 5.5 inches wide, so that it covers the span of the card front, okay? And then I took my cue from the designer paper to pick one of the coordinating colors, and I chose Daffodil Delight. And I cut 2 strips of that so that I could border the top and the bottom. This is cut at 3/4 of an inch wide, and then it's 3/4 of an inch tall, 5.5 inches wide, and we're going to adhere that to the back side of this wider designer paper strip. So to do this, I usually put my adhesive on the back, and then I'll line it up, and I just want maybe a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch, about 1/4 of an inch, extending beyond the designer paper. I'll press that down and do the same for this side, and just line that up and try to eyeball it, match the top a bit. I've got it. Let's see, that might be easier to put it down. Okay. All right, so there I have my main piece, main layer that's going across the front. Now you'll see here I have 3 of the images fussy cut from the designer paper. Okay, so I took this, I've already done it, and I'm going to go ahead and place those. I decided to put the big raccoon in the middle and the little squirrel on the side and the rabbit here. So I'm going to do the 2 ends first and just lightly lay that there to make sure I have room for everybody, and I do. Let's see, I want to move him just a tad over, get his feet down. Okay, and then I'm going to put the bunny here. And then the raccoon is a little larger than the other 2 little animals, so I'm going to pop him up with dimensionals, and he'll be in front of those other 2, so to speak. So let me get a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals and put them on the back. I just love these cute little animals. They're so darling. Okay. Let's put him just right here. Okay. So they're all in a parade marching down. Now I want my sentiment going across the bottom here. And so I have another piece of 5.5 inch wide Whisper White, 3/4 of an inch tall here, and I'm just going to lay that down and take the stamp Surprise, use my Pacific Point ink, which is another color within the designer paper, and I'm just going to put that in the center. Great. Okay, and then before I glue anything down, I just position it to make sure I'm going to have enough room for everything. All right, so let's go ahead and put the big layer down. Don't you love these colors, these bright primary colors? Okay, I'm going to go about 1/4 inch from the top. And then take my 3/4 inch strip here with my surprise sentiment. And I want the red, the real red, to border the top and the bottom of it. So that's how I'm deciding where to place it. Okay, there we go. And to add a little bit of embellishment, I've got my enamel shapes in the brights, and I'm using 2 little real red stars here. Okay, and there we have our cute little birthday card. Now let me show you another card that has the same idea for a layout. Okay, it's still a landscape card. I've got my 2.5 inch piece of glimmer paper with So Saffron bordering the top and the bottom, just like I did here. I have 3 images right here across the center. Okay, the little cones. This is from the Cool Treat set. And then instead of using a strip down there, I just decided to stamp directly onto the card base. And that decision, I came with that because it was a little wider than this one, but you can still make the same plan work. I lifted my main piece up more toward the top. Okay, you see how it's a little higher? And then I had room to stamp my sentiment. Then I used some of these new in color embellishments that are glittery to match the glitter in the glimmer paper. So that's another card. And then here I have the Wood Crate stamp set and the wood texture designer paper. I forget the exact name of that. The wood textures. I used the stars, and this time for my 3, I used the same image. I die cut them, used a circle behind them, but again, my designer paper is 2.5 inches wide. I have the 3/4 inch strip top and bottom, and on this one, instead of putting a strip of paper or stamping directly on the card base, I used some ribbon and die cut one of the tags from the Wood Crate Thinlits, stamped on it for my thanks so much sentiment, and I was ready to go. Okay, so there are 3 cards one way. Okay, give that a try. When you see a card you like, get your supplies out, just go with it and try to lay it out the same way. And when you make a card you like, you can make it again and it'll look completely different. Have lots of different card varieties to send to your friends and family. Thanks so much for joining me. Please visit my website at inkandinspirations.com, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.